If you want a home in Lawrence County, you probably know the feeling. You open the mail, pull out a yellow piece of paper from the assessor, and see a shockingly high new dollar amount for your home. Your first thought is usually a sudden wave of panic. If the county says your house is worth 40% more, your tax bill is going to jump 40% too, right? Well, take a deep breath, because that is not how this works. To really understand how property taxes function here, it helps to think of the whole town as a large group of friends going out to dinner and splitting a massive check at the end of the night. This document shows what that total check actually is, the fixed budget to keep Lawrence County running. The exact cost to fund our public schools, road maintenance, and waste disposal is decided well before anyone looks at your house's worth. The town figures out how much the whole dinner costs first. So your home's appraised value doesn't change the total size of the bill the town has to pay. It only helps determine the size of your specific slice of that dinner check. Property values in a town don't change evenly. Over a 4 to 6 year cycle, some neighborhoods might become highly desirable and see their values climb quickly, while other areas might not change much at all. If the county never updated its property records, the folks living in the neighborhoods that stayed exactly the same would end up having to carry a heavier weight. They would essentially be paying for the services used by the areas that grew the fastest. That is why periodic reappraisals happen. Think of it as a fairness reset. It allows the town to take a fresh look and accurately measure who holds what portion of the community's overall wealth right now. By resetting those values, the system protects the average homeowner from having to cover the financial footprint of someone else's booming neighborhood. But this brings up a big question. If the average home value across the entire town jumps by 40%, won't the local government just rake in 40% more cash? Actually, no. Tennessee has a strict rule called the Truth in Taxation Law. It creates a legal limit called the certified tax rate, which is designed specifically to prevent the government from getting a sudden windfall of cash just because of inflation. Here is how the math works. If the total appraised value of all properties in the county goes up by 40%, state law requires Lawrenceburg to automatically lower the actual tax rate by 40%. The total revenue collected by the town stays exactly the same. This means if your home's value went up by 40% and the town average also went up by 40%, the final dollar amount on your tax bill remains exactly the same as the year before. The state strictly prohibits local governments from using property inflation to quietly increase their budgets. So an increase in your home's appraised value doesn't mean the city is trying to squeeze more money out of you. Of course, that leads to the next logical question. Under what circumstances will a homeowner actually see their tax bill increase after a reappraisal? Let's go back to our dinner group. If you decide to order a steak and 3 desserts, while everyone else just orders side salads, your share of the final bill is going to be higher than everyone else's. In real estate terms, if you add a massive extension to your house, or if your specific neighborhood suddenly becomes highly desired, your personal wealth has grown significantly faster than the Lawrenceburg average. Because your property now takes up a larger piece of the town's total pie, you are responsible for a larger slice of the tax burden, even after the overall tax rate is lowered. We know this can cause some serious sticker shock. This is especially true when a town expands outward, driving up demand and artificially increasing the value of nearby rural and farming land. To prevent farmers from being taxed out of their livelihood by that encroaching urban growth, Tennessee uses the Greenbelt Law. This provides tax relief for agricultural and forest land, keeping those property assessments tied directly to farm use rather than real estate demand. These higher tax bills represent mathematical adjustments that reflect a homeowner's new, larger share of the town's overall property wealth. But what if you look at that new number on the yellow paper and you know without a doubt that the assessor got it wrong? Human error happens, and sometimes a property is evaluated too high. If that happens, you are not stuck. You have the legal right to appeal your new property appraisal directly with the local county assessor's office. The very first step is to gather hard evidence. You will need to look up recent sales of homes in your specific neighborhood that are similar to yours. Bringing comparable sales data proves what the true market value of your home actually is. The entire appraisal system is built to keep the community running fairly, and if something looks off, you have the tools and the right to make sure your share of the town check is exactly